Eala ends 2026 Australian Open singles run. Eala bowed out of the 2026 Australian Open women's singles after United States' Alicia Parks edged her out with a 6-0, 3-6, 2-6 win. The two faced off in a round 1 matchup on January 19 in Court 6 of Melbourne Park, which was filled with Filipinos cheering on the 20-year-old Pinay player. Eala, the world's number 49, blazed through the first set with a triple break against the 25-year-old American player, the world's number 99. Parks bounced back in the second set, forcing a deciding third set, in which the American player had the upper hand. After a nearly 2-hour exchange, Parks won after a backhand forced error from Eala. The American tennis player, who has won WTA singles title from the 2023 Lyon Open, goes on to face off against the winner of the match between Karolina Muchova and Jacqueline Christian. Eala first appeared in the Australian Open in 2023 and got eliminated early in the qualifiers. After her singles exit, Eala will also compete in doubles alongside Brazil's Ingrid Martins against Japan's Shuko Aoyama and Poland's Magda Linette. The Filipina is also scheduled to appear in the first-ever Philippine Women's Open later in January as a wild card. Eala's 2026 Australian Open, a story of heart, hope, and historic firsts. In the heat of a blazing Melbourne summer, under the unforgiving sun at Melbourne Park, one image captivated not just supporters of tennis but an entire nation: Alexandra Eala, the young Filipino star, stepping onto the court for her main draw debut at the 2026 Australian Open, the first time she'd earned direct entry as a top 50 player and stood tall on this Grand Slam stage. What unfolded in that match was far more than a contest of scorelines. It was a testament to resilience, identity, aspiration, and the raw beauty of chasing dreams on the world's largest sporting platform. Prelude, rising tides and historic moments. Eala didn't arrive in Melbourne by accident, she arrived by merit. A whirlwind of momentum carried her into the 2026 season. She surged to a career-high WTA ranking of world number 49 just days before the tournament, the highest in Filipino tennis history. Her early January was marked by breakthrough displays, a powerful semi-final run at the ASB Classic in Auckland, where she battled deep into a competitive field, and her compelling presence at the Kuyang Classic, the revered exhibition warm-up that often previews Grand Slam contenders. That run, blending toughness, tactical evolution, and fiery determination, set the stage for what the world was beginning to see: not just a promising talent, but a trailblazer reshaping expectations for Filipino tennis. The stage is set, Melbourne welcomes a new hero. January 19, 2026, Court 6 at Melbourne Park. The lines on the hard court seemed to shimmer under the intensity of expectation. Hundreds of fans, her compatriots and global followers alike, crowded the stands and nearby big screens, Philippine flags waving proudly in vibrant splashes of red, blue, and yellow. Anthems of Alex echoed through the stairways like chants in a theater of dreams. This wasn't just a tennis match, it was a moment etched in the collective heart of a nation watching from thousands of miles away. Her opponent, Alicia Parks of the United States, experienced, powerful, and relentless, stood across the net. In the opening moments, however, no one was watching Parks. They were watching Alex. Set 1. Fire and fervor. Eala opened with a display of astonishing confidence. She dominated the first set 6-0, executing precise shots and thrilling the crowd with every rally. Each swing of her racket was met not just with applause but with a collective, almost spiritual energy, as though the crowd felt each point in their bones. This wasn't merely tactical excellence, it was joy made manifest. Her left-handed whip of a forehand, her quick lateral movement, and her strategic bravery on key points all raised the hairs on the back of the collective neck. For a fleeting moment, it felt like the underdog story was evolving not just into an upset tale, but a national celebration of belief. Momentum shifts, the unforgiving reality. But Grand Slams are marathons of mind as much as muscle. In the second set, Parks recalibrated. She adjusted her positioning, unleashed her power, and began to wrest control. Eala, despite her early blitz, couldn't maintain the intensity against a rising wall of precision from her opponent. The second set slipped away 3-6, then the third 2-6, as Park's rhythm solidified and Eala faced the delicate, devastating truth of competitive sport. Domination in one set doesn't guarantee victory in the next. For some, it could have been a moment of despair. For Alex, it was another crucial lesson in the journey she is forging, one filled with peaks and valleys, thrusts of triumph and moments of heartbreak, all interwoven into the tapestry of an athlete becoming more than she was yesterday. More than a match, a moment beyond sport. When the final point was struck and the scoreboard confirmed her exit from the singles draw, the silence that momentarily enveloped the court wasn't defeat, it was respect. The applause that followed, heartfelt, sustained, and deeply appreciative, honored not just the match she played, but the meaning of her presence there. For a generation of Filipinos, young athletes across Asia, and countless supporters who rarely see one of their own on tennis' grandest stages, Alex Eala's run was nothing short of inspiration. Her post-match words reflected authenticity layered with humility. She admitted the experience had been a bit overwhelming, especially the enormous crowds at practice sessions and the intensity of emotion that comes with carrying an entire nation's dreams into battle. Yet even in disappointment, her gratitude and perspective remained unwavering. She understood the weight of what this week meant beyond win-loss columns. What her run teaches us. Eala's 2026 Australian Open singles journey, though early in conclusion, is rich in lessons that transcend tennis. Courage in firsts. Stepping onto a Grand Slam center stage for the first time is a unique blend of thrill and pressure. Alex's fearless first set showcased what happens when belief meets opportunity. The resilience of growth. Her story is not one of abrupt mastery, but of incremental ascent, from junior titles to top 50 breakthrough and now Grand Slam experience that only deepens her future potential. Identity and representation. In a sport where Asian representation at the highest levels has historically been limited, her presence felt monumental, not as a footnote, but as a headline for what's possible. Humility in the spotlight, facing defeat with grace, acknowledging the crowd's support, and framing her loss as part of a broader journey reveal the character of a champion, not just in athleticism but in spirit. Beyond Melbourne, what's next? Australian Open 2026 will not be remembered for a deep run by Eala, but it will be remembered as her rite of passage Grand Slam, the moment she crossed a threshold many dream of but few reach. She will return to tour play with renewed hunger, to refine her serve, sharpen her tactical instincts, and harness the fire of that first-round eruption into deeper runs at the sport's elite stages. Her age, just 20, tells us the story is far from finished. Indeed, this Australian Open stands not as an end, but as a prologue to a legacy in motion.